Alright, just to give you the overview of the electronics that I'm going to use on this Hailer 450 V2. I'm going to use 3 9 grams metal gear servos, which is Avionic 90 mg. These are good servos, they are metal geared and have a decent torque. So I'm going to use these 3 servos across on the cyclic. The tail will have a 24 gram Avionic TS590. These are quite fast servos and they are 24 gram. The gyro will be an Avionic AV410 AVCS head holding gyro. The motor is a brushless motor, which is Odin AV3800, and it's a 3800 kV motor, quite a powerful motor. Good thing about this is the motor comes with a 13-tooth pinion with a grub screw, bullet connectors, washers, and also heat shrink. And for the ESC, I'm going to use the Avionic 40 amp. This thing also comes across with bullet connectors, and on the other hand, it comes with the DIN plugs across over here. So this is just to give you an overview of the electronics. We'll start placing the cyclic servos now on the frame and take it to the next level. Hi everybody. Now I'm going to take you through a very short segment which could be interesting to a few of you guys, especially to people who would like to take care of the helis in detail. Now at least me personally, I try to use the servo protection sleeves across on my servo wires here. The simple reason being that, you know, when trying to fix up the heli, first of all it looks good, and secondly it actually protects the wires of the servo from getting cut, etc. So what exactly is a servo protection sleeve? Now I have fixed one of these on my heli. Now this is not a Hailer. Let me show you. This one. These are the sleeves. They're actually a kind of a mesh where you fix across in the servo. Let me try to zoom in. Yeah, this is a bit right. This is a better way to look at it. You can look at this. This is called as a sleeve, which actually covers up the wire. This actually protects the servo wires from getting cut and makes the heli look good too. Now I really don't know if this is available in India quite freely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show what we can use. An alternative is heat shrink tube. I'm more than sure this is available. I hope at least this is available. So we can actually fix the heat shrink tubes here, and this will give a decent amount of protection. Now it could be in black, or it could be in red, or it could be in blue, etc. I'm going to use blue right now because the Hailer 450 V2 is in blue color. So how do we go ahead and fix this? Now what you need to do is pick up the servo and take a X-Acto knife. Mine is pretty old, but still this will suffice the purpose of this entire exercise. And just be careful and just, you know, let me try to zoom in here if possible. Yeah, you can see that. Now there's the small 3 locks here, plastic locks. What you need to do is you need to release these locks. You can use a small screwdriver if you want to, a very small one, or ideally I would prefer, for me at least, I prefer a X-Acto knife. Now just gently pick up the lock and pull this out. Yeah, look at that, this wire is out. Now go ahead and pull out the other 2 wires, but be careful the orientation, and just just remember how the orientation of the wire should be when it goes out. The left hand side is the orange one. That's what you get across in JR and the other kinds of servos or Spectrum, etc. Whereas in Futaba you might get a white color. But basically the lighter of all these 3, which is the orange or the white in Futaba, is the signal wire. The red being the center wire, which is a positive, which draws, which takes current from the receiver, and the brown one will be replaced by a black one in a Futaba. So it will be white, red, black in a Futaba, or here in this case it will be orange, red and brown. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove these two of them and I'll come back to you. Alright, here we have it. I've removed all the three of them. And again, just to reiterate and reinforce, be very careful when you start unplugging this locks. You don't want to start cutting them. Once you start cutting them, or even if you lose one of them, you'll have an issue across and there could be a loss of contact, and it's not fun to see. So we're going off during flight. So yeah, so we have the servo here. What you need to do is just straighten the wire as much as possible. There should be no twist. Pick up the ends, and what I usually do is I take across a very small piece, a very tiny piece, just about 3 mm. Insert it across in the corner and just hit it up. Yeah, here we go. Now again, ensure that the wires there's no twist on the wire. Let's keep that aside. I hope this is cold now. Now pick up your heat shrink. What I've done basically here is I've taken the heat shrink and I've cut it across at a certain length. I've left close to about a centimeter from here and close to about a centimeter and a half from here. I've not taken it from the ends because what happens is once you fix the servo across in the frame, this part of the wire actually bends. But when you start fixing across, or if you start fitting the fixing the heat shrink tube here at the corner, it usually doesn't bend. So for flexibility, I leave this amount of wire naked as it is, and then from here I place the heat shrink, or rather I'll insert the heat shrink tube. Take this up gently and start throwing it in. It's quite easy. Yeah, here it comes from this end. Just pull it out. Now leave about a centimeter from here. Again, make sure there's no twist. Because what happens if there is a twist, once you start applying the heat shrink tube starts twisting. We don't want that to happen because it doesn't look good. It's just for aesthetics, nothing more than that. So I'm going to take a lighter and just heat up. And just run your finger so that it's flat. This part is finished. Don't overburn it, please, otherwise you'll have a problem in your hand. Do it segment by segment. Yeah, here we have. So you have a kind of an servo wire protection sleeve with you now, with the heat shrink tube. Now at this point of time, just remove this with your hand, and again be careful with the orientation. The orange left hand side or the white in a Futaba, let me try to zoom in. The orange on the left hand side, center should always be red, and the dark color on the right hand side, there's a grounding wire. You can insert it one by one, or you can insert it together, either ways. And also be careful, there's a kind of a crimp here. Use the crimp area on the top. This should be facing on the top. This area actually goes, if you look at it very carefully, again if I can zoom here. There's a kind of a small lock mechanism here. There, yeah, that's right. So this is the part where it goes and locks itself. I'm not sure if I'm throwing enough light here. Yeah, at one of these small locks here. Yeah, you can see that now. That's right. So let's start placing them inside.